So help me interpret this dream. Hi, I'm Aja, and this is The Weather in Space, and this is my channel where I talk about the paranormal, New Age spirituality, ghosts, Bigfoot, all of those, all the good things, all of those things. So I had this dream not that long ago, maybe just like a couple of years ago. This might have been around the time of the pandemic, and I had quit my job because I really wanted to dive into the spirituality thing. So I guess it kind of makes sense. So this dream starts out on a lovely day. It must have been a holiday or something because all of the stores were giving away free ice cream and people and their families were out, and it was a beautiful sunny day. The weather was great. My husband and I were walking around just kind of enjoying the day. There were like booths set up where they had like free stuff and samples, and you could play little carnival games, and it was just like it was fun. Everything about this part of the dream was fun. And after a while, my husband and I split up because he needed to go back to the house for something. And I decided to get on the harbor ferry because I love boats. I love being on the water. I do. So in my dream, I got on the boat. But about 15 minutes into the ride, the boat just sank. It capsized. And there were about 30 people on the boat with me, and we all went into the water. And most people managed to swim to the surface and save themselves, except for like 4 or 5 people, including myself, who just kind of were treading water. We weren't really going anywhere. And I remember while I was there, I saw one man sink, but he didn't just sink to the bottom. He sank into this like bottomless, creepy black pit. It was like one of those things where once you start sinking down into it, you can't get out. And I just kind of knew, like in my dream, I knew that he sank because he was a bad person. Do I know what he did specifically? No. I just knew that he was a bad person and had done bad things in his life. And watching that scared me. So me and the other 4 or 5 people that were still kind of like, I guess, in limbo, we managed to swim to some nearby rocks where we were able to kind of like grab on and then decide what we were going to do. While we were down there holding onto these rocks, there was actually somebody down there who I know from real life. His name was Bill. Bill actually passed like a number of years ago, but he was a good friend. I met him through work. And he was down there with me, and he kind of says to everyone, he's like, why don't we just go for it? Why don't we swim to the top? I was too scared. I didn't want to let go of this rock because I was scared of letting go and then possibly sinking into that black hole. But I also knew that I wouldn't be able to swim very well because my hands were full. Like in one hand, I had all the things that I need, like my house keys, my driver's license, my wallet. And in the other hand, I had stuff that I had collected throughout the day, like little toys, prize tickets, some of the things that I had gotten for free. And I didn't want to let go of any of it. But I knew with my hands full, I wouldn't be able to swim that well. So I didn't volunteer. I didn't go. But then Bill said, well, I'm going to do it. So he let go of the rock and he swam to the surface and he was fine. And the other people that were down there with me, they said, well, he did it. Why don't we do it? And so one by one, they all let go of the rock and swam to the surface and they were fine. So that just left me. And as I was there holding on to this rock, I saw in the cracks in the crevices that there were bodies of like divers who had died down there. The impression I got was that they started exploring these rocks and they got caught in the crevices, and maybe their suits had gotten snagged on some jagged edges and they couldn't get out, and so they drowned. So now I was down there all by myself in this dark, murky water, and it was quiet, and I was all alone, and there was this big, gaping, bottomless black hole beneath me, and yeah, a sense of doom started to set in. So I just sat there, too afraid to move. But then, all of a sudden, this woman comes splashing down into the water, and she's just swimming around, and she's doing it so easily and so gracefully. She was so beautiful and so graceful, and she had on this beautiful pastel colored swimsuit, and she just looked so amazing. And then she came down to where I was, and she lifted me off the rock, and then she swam me to the surface where, once again, it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. And then she asked me to come to her timeshare presentation. I'm not kidding. That's actually how my dream ended. She asked me to take a tour of her timeshare. She was like, hey, I did a favor for you. Now why don't you do a favor for me and come to my timeshare? So I don't know. It has been a while. I guess I do kind of see what this dream was telling me. But at the time, I think I was just too close to it. Like there was too much emotion and maybe too much, I don't know, denial going on, that it was like the dream felt so significant. I woke up and it left an impression on me, but I was like, what does that mean? But now I think I kind of understand what it means, but it would be nice to get other interpretations. That's why I'm opening it up to you guys. And it's interesting because just recently I lost my phone and I didn't back up anything because I'm an idiot. And I lost all of it. I had tons and tons of videos that like I had shot, and like, you know, just ideas of videos I wanted to make that I was really just procrastinating on and dragging my feet. And now that like I lost all of that and I had to start from scratch with a new phone, it almost felt good. It almost felt like a weight was off of my shoulder. So kind of like those things that I was holding in my hands, you know, like maybe dropping them wouldn't be the end of the world, you know. Maybe my life wouldn't totally collapse in on itself if I lost some of these things that I consider to be vital to my everyday life, you know. Yeah.